like, comment, share, subscribe. All right. Welcome to FLATLIFETV, where we connect culture, music, and streets. Today, we got a special guest. Want to tell everybody who he is?
My name Li Kev from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but I just moved to that 337, Lafayette, I want to put them on the map, so, yeah.
All right. Li Kev, what part of Baton Rouge you from?
So I originate from Glen Oaks, but I like to sound from everywhere, I move around, a lot, so, I've been all over the place.
All right.
Yeah.
What was it like for you growing up in Baton Rouge?
Man, you just gotta be on your toes, man. I mean, it was rough at some places, you know what I'm saying. I had, good people around me, but you gotta, be on your toes. It's easy to find yourself in bad situations, easy. So, but for the most part, I had some good, good moments, good memories.
All right. Like before this move to Lafayette, you would come to Lafayette frequently?
Yeah, just eat some good food. Y'all always had better food, in my opinion. Than Baton Rouge. So that was the main reason. I come out here, have a good time, see what festivals out here. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Who was your biggest musical influences?
Oh, that's a tough one. So, I'll say I had to say OB&J for one. I'm a good fan of him, but and I want to work with him too. So, if you see this, put down on your list. But OB&J, young boy, shout out to him. Just Kevin Gates too. Big influence too. So.
All right. When did you realize that you loved music?
I was a baby. I played drums when I was 4 years old, and then I moved, into going to performance art schools, elementary school. I played violin, piano. So I've been around music, and it's just always been a part of me. So I never really stopped loving music since that little child in me.
All right. What was the first project that got people noticing you?
I had to say my first project after I came back from CSP Music Group. Shout out to Christopher Starr in Atlanta. But yeah, that first project was Reform. That was my first studio project under my new brand, Outlet Entertainment. That was my first label I created in 2021. I still represent that. But yeah, just moving from Reform, and then Villain was a big album for me. That got noticed around the city. So yeah, after that, I just started performing around Baton Rouge, and building on from that. So momentum just never stopped from there.
All right. How long you been making music?
I say officially, 10 years, about 10 years. Yeah, started when I was like 14. So yeah, I'm turning on to the 10th year now. Yeah.
How would you describe your sound?
I say melodic, aggressiveness around the edges, but I like to tell stories, so I try to be as lyrical as possible while still fitting into my realm. So, I'm from the South, so I try to keep that Southern soul, around my lyrics, my melodies, and stuff like that. I just bring you into a picture I want to paint for you.
What kind of things you do outside of music?
None. So aside from being an artist, I'm a producer and engineer. So if I'm not recording, I'm making beats. If I'm not making beats, I'm recording somebody. And I also take on videography just recently. So, I try to stay inside of the industry, but it's not really, me forcing myself to do it. It's just, that's what I like to do,
All right. What does Baton Rouge mean to you?
Baton Rouge, it's a struggle, and honestly though, but I will say it's still everything to me. And part of this move out to Lafayette was for me to build up a big enough name to bring back to Baton Rouge, bring back a bigger brand, make myself better, because I want to ultimately go back and represent. But for now, my focus right now is Lafayette, and exposing this talent that's out here. Y'all have a lot of talented people out here. Then a lot of people don't get recognized. So I want to help bring some attention over here too.
What does Lafayette mean to you?
New beginnings, a lot of potential, a lot of hustle that could a lot of people could come together and hustle together and make money and make, the city actually, good music recognized, good, be recognized as a good music city. A lot of people come here and perform, a lot of big names, and but you don't have a lot of people who stay in Lafayette, build their name up and represent Lafayette. So I want to build a brand that's fit around that idea.
How would you describe Lafayette to someone that never been?
Full of culture, great people, nice people, good energy. Since I've been here for 2 weeks now, I haven't had a bad encounter yet. But now it's great to build and settle. But yeah, just.
What's your favorite thing about Lafayette?
Y'all got I gotta say the people. I ain't gonna lie, the people, because I walk in the store, and just meet somebody around. We'll talk about their grand people, their granddaughters, their grand, sons, and just getting these conversations, hear their stories and stuff like that. And it helps me, bring back and relate with my music. So I like to engage with the community.
What's your favorite spot to chill in Lafayette?
So, I'm still exploring. So far though, I gotta say, where have I been? I mean, I've been different places, since I haven't really went back to the same places. But I like Flats. They got good, little burgers there. Downtown period. They got little places you could stop. I went to a little Mexican restaurant too, so that was pretty good.
All right. You being an outsider, how do you feel Lafayette is represented in Louisiana rap?
Underrated. I feel like, again, I met a lot of people in Baton Rouge that, would come down and perform because they, there's a lot more ears out there, yeah, but what they don't know is there's not a lot of support in Baton Rouge. So I say it's underrated because if y'all had that talent and, came together and built an independent kind of movement with those artists, y'all have a lot of support because y'all have the people that, will want to buy in. But, if you from Baton Rouge, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah.
All right. What advice would you give to the youngsters? Well, to the youth?
Stay out the way. One thing as an artist, my brand, I want to show that, you don't have to beef and be in and out of jail, clout chase to make it, you know what I'm saying? If you have a good team, if you make good music, if you love the hustle, you love the grind, you'll make it. And it starts really just little by little. The people around you, your community, your friends, get them to share your music. They'll know if people like your music, they'll share it more and more. But start in your community.
How can people tap in with you?
Y'all can reach me on Instagram. That's where I would engage mostly with my fans at Li Kev. Well, no, li.kev__. From there you'll see all my links for my music, stuff like that. You can also look up my name on all platforms, li.kev. All my music pop up there. Yeah, so.
All right. And the last words, Kev?
A new movement is coming to Laffy. I'm not trying to interfere with nobody's stuff, so yeah, I'm not here stepping on nobody's toes and all that stuff. But if y'all want to hustle, and, come together and make a good movement like a new Lafayette, I'm the man to talk to. Whether it's grinding in the studio, getting a new sound out. I'm a songwriter too. Services, I'll reach out and offer. But now, like on some real stuff, let's really make something happen. Let's make something big in Lafayette.
And I appreciate you, bro.
No problem.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.